about this over the last week after Pastor asked me to do this. And I love to share this. I don't always get an opportunity to do this a lot, but I love to share it because God is just so good and has been so faithful. It's just not a message of healing, but a message of faithfulness of God, and that He'll be with us no matter what we go through, what we're experiencing, and the peace that can come with that when we truly put our faith in Him. So it goes back almost 20 years ago now, fall of 1999. I was in a job where I drove a lot, outside sales. So I was in a car every day, driving to different people's plants and so forth. And so I spent a lot of time listening to the radio and just windshield time, what salesmen call it, windshield time. So I was driving, and previous to this, Emily, our oldest daughter, was a little over 2 years old. And like any dad and child, we'd roughhouse in the evenings and play and everything. And she hit me one day in the groin when we was playing, and it hurt pretty bad. And over time, it just seemed like that wasn't healing up. It wasn't completely going away. And I kept trying to tell myself, it was just from that. It's okay. And I can clearly remember one day driving through southeast Ohio, and just out of nowhere, a thought came to my mind. And the thought was, this might be cancer. And as quick as that thought came to my mind, it left. And in hindsight, I know that was God speaking to me and preparing me, because I didn't worry about it. I never even thought about it again after that moment. So fast forward on, 2-3 weeks down the road, I had an annual physical coming up. And I knew that, if things didn't really clear up, I was going to say something. And kind of a funny little part of this was, I was actually switching to a new doctor, and Kim had made the appointment for me, and it was, what I was going to have to talk about was not something I wanted to talk with a strange person, let alone I come to find out the day before the doctor's appointment, it was a lady. I was just like, oh man. Shame. So I went in, and I talking to her, and I was telling her what I was experiencing and everything, and she started examining me, and she excused herself out of the office, and a couple minutes later she come back in, and she had another doctor with her. He started examining me, and they kind of talked a little bit there, and then they both left, and then she came back in the office, and she addressed me and looked at me, and she said, "We think you might have testicular cancer, and we're going to move as if you do until we know that you don't." And of course, the first thing that came to my mind was that thought in the car 3 or 4 weeks back. And it really, I didn't get upset, didn't get bothered. I was just like, okay, what do we need to do? And she was like, well, we got to run some more tests and this and that. So she left, and she was making, appointments for tests over the next couple of days, and she came back in, and we were talking, and she looked at me and she said, "Are you okay?" And I just kind of jokingly was like, "Yeah, why?" And she was like, "Well, you're not responding like the typical person who's just been told they might have cancer." And I looked at her and told her, I said, "It's okay, God's in control." Of course, she got a big smile on her face, and I actually become pretty good friends with her over the next couple of years, in and out of things. But so we went on, they ran tests, and within 2 or 3 days, I was going to have surgery. But I kind of jumped ahead here, back up. This doctor's appointment should have only been like a 30-minute doctor's appointment, maybe 45 minutes at the most for an annual physical. And I had made plans to tell Kim once I got out of there that we'd meet for dinner. And of course, I was there for almost 2 hours. Of course, she was trying to call me. She was trying to get a hold of me, wondering what was going on. So I walked out to my car, and I sat down in the car at the CAMC Memorial in Charleston. And before I did anything, I prayed. And I told God, but I'm young. I'm not really ready to die. I've got a 2-year-old daughter. I've only been married about 7 years, Lord. I said, my fleshly desire is I don't want to die. But I told him, I said, Lord, I'm yours, and whatever you have in store, it'll be all right. You're in control. And a peace came upon me that day. I even get emotional today in talking about it, because it was a peace I've never felt.
Amen.
And honestly, I've not felt that kind of peace since then. I have peace with God in a lot of things, but that kind of peace is just, it's undescribable. So I called Kim. She was asking all kinds of questions, like where you been, what's been taking so long? And I didn't want to talk about it over the phone. So I was like, let's meet for dinner. So we met for dinner. Of course, I started telling her what was going on. Of course, she fell apart. She was bawling, crying, saying, what am I going to do? I've got a 2-year-old daughter. You're going to die. And, so she was to pieces. And of course, I was sitting there calm and collected. It's okay. So a couple days went by. I actually ended up on a surgery. And had surgery, and I can say, 20 years later now, I'm cancer-free still.
Amen.
But that's not all the healing, because, as I said, it was testicular cancer, and I had to undergo 3 weeks of radiation treatment in the lower abdomen. Of course, we only had our one child, Emily. So there was a very strong possibility that I wouldn't be able to have kids anymore, But God not only healed me of the cancer, but he protected and healed my body to where we've now got Levi, who's 19, going on 19 years old,
Amen.
up here on the praise team. And of course, Sophia was 6 years after Levi.
Amen.
So God is good. His faithfulness is healing. He does still heal, as you was just saying. He still does heal. And, as I've told the kids over there is a part on our side. We have to have faith, and we have to trust God that no matter what he has in store for us, it's the right thing, and it's good, because God only has what's good for us in store, So, like I said, I like sharing this. You can tell at times I still get emotional about it, because it was so real. God's peace and his comforting was so real that even today, when I talk about it, it's just, I get cold chills and just, it touches me. So I hope this, sharing this has helped build people's faith. And just remember, God does heal. He still does heal. He may not always heal in our time in the way we want it healed, but God does heal everything in his time.